So just like a couple of weeks ago when my husband spoke, I do have some approved comments, but I was told that I could also go off script, so kind of excited about that. So today with us, we have Brad Price and Dan Crawford from Tabletop Gamers for Good, but both of them, along with Jason McKee, who is a member of my board of directors at Neighborhood House, they formed Tabletop Gamers for Good in order to do something a little different to raise money for nonprofits or other nonprofit organizations. So they are a nonprofit organization that donates to other nonprofits. And I got to know Dan. I've known Brad. He volunteers at Neighborhood House. But I got to know Dan because they had me on their podcast a while back. And so I don't know how many of you, is anyone into Drunk History? Have you seen that show? I see some hands up, yeah. So we did our podcast in their space over at the shops at Grand Prairie, and I said, you know, this podcast would be way more fun if we played a game and drank and talked. And they didn't take me up on it, but I think there's room for that next time. So please welcome Brad Price and Dan Crawford, who has been referred to as Brad's Vanna White for the day.
Thanks, Julie. It didn't go as far off script as I thought it was going to.
Could have been way worse.
Yes, yes. And I call him my Vanna White because if he were up here talking, we wouldn't get out here this afternoon.
That's very true.
All right. Now, if I could just, there we go. So, like Julie said, we started this up because we love board games. We love role-playing games. We've got a lot of people in the community that join us, and we thought, why don't we get something going so we can help others? So, as you can see with our mission, that is what we do. We put on events. Once a month, we have little pop-up events. So the pop-up conventions, they're just a one-day come in, play some games, hang out with us, do some raffles, and then call it good for the next week. So far, we haven't raised a ton of money for the people we're trying to help out, but it's starting to build up. We're starting to get some momentum behind us. So we're trying to do a lot more outreach for these. We also have our big two-day convention that happens the 26th and 27th of this month. So with that one, we're going to be over at 3300 Event Center, and we've got a lot of stuff going on there. We'll hit that here in a little bit. We also have FlatCon in October that we run over in Bloomington, and that one's been running for about 24 years. But when I took it over 2 years ago, I thought, we got to give the money that we make to the community. So we've been giving money over there for the past few years. We're doing it here now. And then we're also doing school events. So if any of the schools are interested, we'll come in there, we'll set up our board games, we'll teach people how to play games, and just make it fun for the game nights. Here are some of the organizations we've helped. So we've been doing this for a year now. The ones over here on the left are from Bloomington. The ones to the right are all the ones we've helped here in Peoria. The one that's up a little bit to the top was Galesburg event that we did. So that's the Volunteer Network on Aging. And they're pretty much the neighborhood house equivalent over in Galesburg. Now, I mentioned Contribution Con 2025. If anybody's interested in coming to play some games, this is going to be a little bit different than most of the gaming conventions if you've ever been to one. We're still going to have lots of games there, but we've got some other events going on. So the 26th and 27th over at the 3300 Event Center. We've got, well, when I put this together, we had 45 gaming events on there, but we now have Escape 60 from down on Main Street. They're coming in to run their game show, and they just put 26 more events on. So, yeah, so we're up to 71. Dan can talk about this.
No, oh, so Faster Purple Worm is a dungeon. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Faster Purple Worm is a, if you're familiar with the game, it's a role-playing game called Dungeons and Dragons. It is a 1-hour adventure where all the characters die, and they die fantastically. It is a whose line is it anyway, audience participated, people put on the spot, very charismatic and theatrical, and it lasts about an hour. And we've got some local, so to speak, celebrities who are going to participate in this awe-inspiring hour of doom and gloom. So it should be a lot of fun.
And then we also have a VIP ticket that you can get. So on top of the entry fee, if you want to pay the extra money, we've got a private game space. We'll have play-to-win games up there that are private to that, and we have a whiskey tasting going on. So if you're, yeah, thought that might get a little interest. So if you're interested, our top shelf whiskey is a Remus Gatsby Reserve. So.
Mahalo, he's looking at you.
Yeah, that's a good pour.
And as I mentioned, Escape 60, doing their game show showdown. I thought they were going to come and do a few sessions of it. Like I said, they put 26 of them on the schedule. So you can come, go up, play something kind of like Family Feud or one of the other game shows. They're going to have 3 different game shows that they're going to present, and you can sign up to run or play in any of them. Of course, we've got vendors. So we'll have plenty of vendors there for you to go through. We've got dice vendor, game vendors, anything nerdy that you're looking for. We have contribution after dark. So from 9 to 11, we have Whiskey City Burlesque going into our 21 and up area, and they're going to do a Nerdlesque show.
Oh.
Oh my God. Explain.
Our game library is going to be there. We have over 700 games in the game library that we take to all these different locations. So 8 carts of games. And then play-to-win games. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with how play-to-win works, but with that, you grab a game off the shelf that's in the play-to-win area. Everybody that plays that game gets their name put into the hat for the drawing on it. On Sunday, we'll take one name out, and that person gets to take that game home. Any questions before we play a game?
Ooh. What's the cost of your events?
It's $35 to get in for the 2 days. If you just want to come Saturday, it's $25, and if you just want to come Sunday, it's $15. And Sunday's fewer hours, not as many fun things going on. Most of it's on Saturday. Yes.
So the monthly events that you have, are they posted on like your Facebook or
Yes,
website?
we've got them on. Yes, we've got, he was asking the monthly ones. We run those typically middle of the month. We put everything up on Facebook. So Facebook and our own website will have each one of the events. But go to Facebook, look up Tabletop Gamers for Good, and you'll find our contribution events and our FlatCon event out there. You went just the wrong way, didn't you?
Sorry.
How do you decide which nonprofits you support?
So we started out by going with Neighborhood House, Big Brothers Big Sisters, because my daughter is the president there. So we knew them, and then we got input from them on who else to work with. Dan works next to Advocates for Access, so we knew we wanted to help them also. But yeah, it's been kind of a introduce us to somebody, and it's just grown from there.
There'll be time for questions afterwards.
All right, good. All right, so this game, it's based on this one that we've got in our library, Bannon. So it's called Blob Party. So with Blob Party, we're trying to create a single blob. So all of the individual organisms are going to join together to become one big blob. On each of the tables, you should have some Play-Doh. So go ahead and pop open the Play-Doh, and every person take one piece of Play-Doh off of the big chunk.
Not eat the Play-Doh.
Yeah, non-edible Play-Doh.
Yep.
True.
Take some down.
He knows.
Sorry.
That was a big old, get a bigger chunk, we should get more. Yeah, and get a big old piece. Oh, yeah, there you go. Jeffrey, that matches your shirt, man.
It does.
All right, so as we're going along, you're going to get one category and one word. On the pieces, well, we've got note cards out there with pens. Go ahead and grab those.
No more.
Once the category and the word are revealed, in secret, write down something that you think works within the description of the category and the word. It can be one word, it can be multiple words, doesn't matter. But you cannot use the category or the word within your answer. So it's like taboo. Once all answers have been written down, we're going to reveal them. We'll give you about 30 seconds to come up with something. Then you reveal it to everybody at the table. Everybody that has the same answer is going to become a blob. So you will take your pieces of Play-Doh, put them together in one big blob, and move next to each other. And then those that are the blob will work together with the next clue. So during each subsequent round, the blob is going to have their answer, and everybody else at the table will have individual answers. Once they're revealed, hopefully more people join the blob. The first table to become a single blob is going to win. Now, we don't have anything really fun to give you, but you're going to win the game.
I can write. This group's competitive.
What were you gonna say? I wish I might write it down.
Yours has some shimmer.
We're giving this question.
Nope.
Okay.
There was not shimmer.
All right, let's run.
How many of you are playing with your Play-Doh like a fidget toy right now?
Yeah.
I ate mine.
Oh. Good.
I'm just going to say real quick, this game, normally you get to put little eyes on your Play-Doh blob and create a little character, and then as they merge, they turn into this crazy-looking, multi-eyed monster, but it's a lot of fun.
Googly eyes.
Yes, they're all googly eyes.
Okay, so we're going to run this through 7 rounds and see if anybody's table can become a blob. Of course, the table of 4 over here has a very good advantage.
You gotta do it twice.
So category is events, and your word is telephone. So come up with something that you think fits the category and the word. You can't say it's good and secret on your.
Can't say.
Used has the word in it.
Yes. Can't say event, can't say telephone, but can it be any word or phrase that you think of from those 2 prompts? And your goal is to kind of share that thought as a group, but it's kind of chaotic at start.
Yeah.
I have telephone.
Are we supposed to tell each other yet, or?
Well, I guess, I don't know. I was gonna do prank calls as my second.
911.
This part is in secret, and then you'll share.
All right, got about 5 seconds.
Never mind. We failed already.
Okay, now reveal your words or your answers to everybody else at the table and see if you have one.
Telephone, what'd you have?
We have 3, so we got 3. What'd you have?
Office staff.
Yes,
What
you
was
can now
yours?
share amongst
What was
yourselves,
yours?
and this is where if you match, you will now blob together. And
Didn't think about that. That's a good one.
Usually with this game, you can use your own discretion as a group because some of these words may not be exactly the same, but might have the same meaning. So you can use your own discretion to whether you join or not.
Yeah, you guys. Because yeah, you guys have one word, and we gotta try to.
And so now they have.
No, I'm ready. Round 2, let's go.
Are you guys ready for the next one?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Okay, your category is going to be famous people, and the word is umbrella.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's right. Everybody's gonna get this one probably. Everybody's gonna have one big blob
Yes,
after
if
this.
you are a blob, you get to work together now. So if you became a blob, you are one mind. So you will talk amongst yourselves and then come up with a word as a group.
The lady that would walk around, like, that had the umbrella. I remember seeing something, I'm drawing a blank. Not too long. Like, not local. No. Not, I feel like there was somebody on a movie or something.
5 more
The only
seconds.
movie person that I can think of is the, what's his name?
All right, reveal
But that's not
and
it.
see who joins the blob.
Mary Poppins. That's who I was thinking.
Oh, that's who he's
That's
thinking
who I
of.
was thinking of.
I know, I had Taylor Swift.
That's it.
What the hell was that?
As umbrella fit that.
Our group, you're too in the know, man. You're too cool for us. Oh, look at the guy. Look at that.
That's what I was thinking of. I'm not thinking of her name. Mary Poppins. Yes. But like she walks around.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Isn't she the one who had the song?
You're so much older than Dad.
Where's your mind?
So at this
This is
juncture, you're going to
song?
see that you may be forming
Oh, she
one
has
blob,
one, right, okay.
2 blobs,
That's one of her
3 blobs. Like it might be many groups of people, but eventually the goal is to all become one.
I'm blob with them.
How many blobs are there?
We only have 2, don't we?
Yep.
We're down to just me. Well, and you two need.
You guys ready?
Round
You two.
3.
There we go.
Wait, what'd you guys have for yours?
Category.
Mary? You guys have Mary?
Purple is the word.
Oh, I don't.
I can't think of. There's only one thing I can think of. That was yeah.
Why? Just because of the one. Yeah. That's what I was.
Yeah.
Unless it's Moby.
All right, 5-second warning.
We can work together. Yeah, we can work together. See what was up.
Okay, let's reveal to everybody. Let's see how the blobs are doing.
The first thing that came to my mind was like the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, the Vikings.
But that was the other thing that went through my head. It was like Mr. Purple Rain himself, who's also from Minnesota.
The travel part as well, I guess.
I don't know.
So do we have a single blob somewhere? No, not yet? All right.
Yeah, I think we gotta go to the next round. We're all being.
Round 4.
Are you one blob?
Hey, they're only 4. They gotta keep going. They gotta do a couple more.
I gotta do it again.
You're in second place.
Yeah. So we've got the 4-person blob. Let's go ahead and get a bigger blob.
Yeah.
One bigger blob.
That's what she said.
You still win. We won't take that from you. You still get
They
that.
lost.
You could end up doing blobs per table, so someone has. You're not throwing your
But that could be interesting.
Then your colors would.
All right, round 4. Around the house. Ice. And these are all combinations that I pulled out of the game.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing.
That makes sense. I was thinking of kind of look at it. Oh, I can't do that. Because it's right.
All right, we got 5 seconds to go. And let's do some reveals. How many blocks do we have now?
What?
We're just guessing what you're gonna say next.
Vanilla?
We have a blob in the center of the room.
And a blob in the back of the
And a
room.
blob in the back.
We had salt.
So we have 3 more rounds. Do we want to continue or?
Nice.
Get closer.
So, yeah. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up and we'll answer any other questions that you have. You blob? Yeah. So plenty of blobs that time. Right?
Does anybody have any questions for us? Back there? I'll run you the mic. I can be mobile.
Vanna moves.
Yeah, thanks, Vanna. Okay, my question is, I just show up at your event just by myself. There'll be people to play games with me?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, actually, if you show up at the event, there will be many people waiting to play games. Most games take anywhere between like 3 and 8 players. So everyone is always looking for a game. And games vary from 5 to 10 minute games all the way to like 60+ minute games. My ADHD kicks in, so I'm about a half-hour gamer. But yeah, various lengths and many people to play with.
He's taking his own.
So as someone who's been to their space at the shops at Grand Prairie, I can say that sitting there with all these games around me, there were probably only like 3 games I had ever heard of before. But how do you find all of these games?
Well, it helps that Dan runs Cabbages and Kings overnight.
My wife and I own a board game store.
Yeah. And I used to run a game store in Galesburg. So a lot of the games came from there, and then I've just collected over the years, and this is my collection that I've turned into a library. So.
Nice. Yeah, I was wondering if you had classic games like Risk and Monopoly, things like that?
Yep.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, we have games that range from your classic games that you know from forever ago to games that are European games or party games, like this is a party game. So we have games of all shapes and sizes. Like we literally can hit pretty much, you know, the taste for any type of game player.
Glad I brought Vanna along with.
You guys are working for us today.
What is the oldest game you have in your library?
Ooh, that's a good question. How old is Crokinole?
Man, it is like turn of the century, Canadian made.
Yeah, so it's like shuffleboard, but it's a round board, and you have to go for the center.
It is like shuffleboard meets, it's a bullseye, so it's kind of like bags meets shuffleboard meets you flick the discs. It's a super cool game. It reminds me a lot of like, what is the pool table that has the little bumpers in it? Bumper pool? Not just a clever name. It reminds me of that. Any other questions? Yes.
You have those for sale
I can order Crokinole games at our store. I usually don't carry them because they're so large.
What are those?
Crokinole is it's a round game. It looks like a bullseye. And it's got pegs around the center, and it is a Canadian-made game. And you flick your discs, like little wooden discs, and you sit with your partner, or you can play 1v1 or 2v2. And then the goal is to score points based on which ring you flick your disc into. But you have to hit your opponent's disc before you can score points. So you kind of got to knock them out of the way first. Very shuffleboard-esque. Any other questions?
Do you serve food and beverages at your place?
Not at the pop-ups, but at the big conventions, we usually have food trucks. And then depending upon where we're at, they'll either have their own service or we'll bring in concessions. And then one thing we've really been trying to push is to get families in there. So we've got some of our nerdy friends that show up all the time, and we've had a few families start showing up, but we really want to make this a family-friendly event, minus the nerdlesque. But for the most part, you know, if we can cater to families and then get donations for other families and children, it's a win-win for us.
How many games do you have that would be, what are the good age range for kids that come to events like this?
So we have things that are from 2 and up. So I have granddaughters that have gone through the 2-year, 3-year-old games, and those are starting to get donated into the library. Plus, we've got others that we put in just because they are fun ones. But we do have one that's been a big hit called Rhino Hero. So it's building a house of cards, but you have to move the rhino up on the house of cards and try to keep it from falling down and Jenga meets Uno. That's pretty good description.
So you talked about kind of how you guys got started. You obviously have been in the gaming industry, if you will. So what about running these events? How many people are on your team? Do you need volunteers?
Yeah, definitely need volunteers. So the pop-ups aren't too bad because they've been fairly small. We have the spot over at Shops at Grand Prairie. Sometimes we go to 3300 Event Center. But because of the size, the 3 of us can usually run them pretty well. Now, the big conventions, over in FlatCon, we've got a volunteer force over there of about 30 people. Here for this first contribution, we're not exactly sure what we need because we don't know exactly how many people are going to be there yet. But yeah, if somebody wants to volunteer, it's on our site. Click on volunteer and we'll give you a pass to come in for volunteering.
With the FlatCon event in Bloomington, last year we hit about 1,000 attendees. So this being our first one here in Peoria, we're happy if we get 100 attendees.
Well, we know we've got 80 people signed up. So
Good start.
yeah, and the space over there with all the tables that we need to have and the vendors, we figure we can hit 300 max over there. But if anybody wants to come out. And actually, if you do want to come out, on the note cards, if you want to put down your email address on there, give that to me. I will send you a code for $10 off. Wow. More people the better.
So if we want to do a Rotary game night,
Yeah.
so we just would contact you and we'd set a night during the week for you to come to
Absolutely.
our facility here and do it for members.
Yeah.
Raise money for
Social
eradicating
I was gonna say-
polio or something like that, right?
Katie Mueller's online.
Katie's already on.
Yeah, we would be glad to.
Jason's son will win.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and when we do that, we usually bring a subset
Sure
of
will.
our games instead of the whole 8 racks. But yeah, we'll have plenty of games to play. And they'll be wide ranging between the family games, the party games, strategy games, easy to learn and complex.
We kind of have this set up already. Like my wife and I, we already do a class for Ollie through the game store, and then we also do a lot with the school systems and different libraries. As a matter of fact, this year's summer reading program at every library within a 20 to 30 minute is gaming. So we are doing almost every summer reading program with every library in the area this year. So we already have the setup. We already have the games. It's real easy to facilitate. Any other questions?